So, the goal of this is to highlight strats. There's a couple prerequisites. So first, assume you've learned the run from Sinner's tutorial. You might be able to follow along a little bit, but I do recommend watching Sinner's tutorial first if you're watching this as a resource, and then come back to this. I recommend a big thing is using accessibility settings in Windows to be able to see where your mouse is at all times. You can use Control to be able to see where your mouse is when you have accessibility settings. It's very useful in many sections, so I heavily recommend it. What else is there? Mm, oh yeah, I use a live split with a timer specifically for the split. That's useful to know exactly when you are on the split, which is mainly useful A to know if you're doing good or bad, and also B to be able to use some timer cues. There's one in particular that's important, so we'll go over that in a bit when we reach it. I think that's a list of things. Obviously, you run at 60 FPS. I recommend having an FPS counter for ease of verification purposes. You can start the timer using sorry, you can start the run, so pulling out the sword, using the start timer button so that both happen at the same time. When you start run, you want to position your mouse, so using accessibility settings, you want to position it on this line, preferably farther, around there, where my actual mouse is. You can see my cursor was already pretty much in place. Here you want to click behind the enemy, roughly, so that you end up next to this line. And then you want to crash, breach. While you're doing those crash, breaches, you want to be holding it right all the time, so that you start going towards, the exit, and then you're going to crash breach, and you're going to switch to mouse, and here I'm going to rewind like a little bit. Here your mouse needs to go roughly on the left of this top corner of the triangle here. You can go like a bit around the triangle, but ultimately you go a bit to the left, and you want to click on the interactable to go directly towards it and interact with it as soon as possible. Then you're going to want to move your mouse around here, so a bit above the right bit of this UI, and that's going to position you pretty well to be a little bit to the left of this little circle. So if you want to be like here, to be able to go in a pretty much a straight line to this point. From there on, you're going to do the usual things from the turn tutorial, do your crash, do your breach. You hold down to go from here to there between the crash and the breach. And then you kill both of them. You go to be roughly level with the bull here. If you're slightly to the right, that's fine. Actually better if you're slightly to the right. If you're slightly to the left, it's a problem, because this enemy will spot you if you're slightly to the left and will shoot at you from here instead of from here. And that's a problem with cells later on. Once the enemy stops, you can hold left just a tiny bit, tap it, so that you can aim your breach better. You'll have a better angle. Then you can go through your crash breach as usual, and you can collect both of those. You don't have to go all the way up, so you press up to go here. You don't have to go all the way up to collect both of them, because if you go up too far, the bottom cell will take a little bit to go towards you. One more thing to mention, on most level up screens, all of them except the first one, you need to mash left click and your numerical buttons, the one for your functions, to be able to skip through the level up faster. Same thing with all the text. Then you click on this. You should be roughly to the left of this, you see this big square, you should be to the left of its center so that you don't trigger a glitch there by going to the door too early. And once you're here, you can aim your mouse to be a little bit at the top here to be faster, or you can just go wherever you want. It doesn't matter that much on the bridge. One important thing is if you're aiming for top, don't go clicking on the interactable right away until you pass the telescope, because if you do that, red will like go into this nook and maybe lose a little bit of time. Then you want to click on the interactable, switch back to keyboard, and go up, right, so that you interact with the interactable as soon as possible. When you're through, you are going to want to go to a down and right, and you're going to want to be pretty much level with this little corner here, and you're going to want to aim next to this guy, not on it. If you aim on it, you will miss this one, or this one. You will miss one of the cell. You want to be next to this guy and preferably a little bit under, so to the right and a little bit under. And that should be able to hit all of them. If you don't hit all of them, it's fine. You can hit them in the second go. Ideally, you want the cell to bounce here so that you can collect the cell and immediately interact with Lady Plat. But if it goes over here, don't thread it, grab it, and then just go and try it. You want to position your mouse between this and this, so roughly here, and you want to hold click here to move red where you want. And then you want her to move around this corner, and as soon as she's around the corner, you want to hold up. So you hold up, and you mash E to interact with the poster. We're gonna skip this because it's a pretty long cutscene. One thing to note here, at the end of a cutscene, you want to aim your mouse at the top bit of this triangle, so roughly here. That's gonna make it so that when you trigger the end by mashing left click, your next left click will move you towards the young lady, and so you can start moving right away. When you reach roughly this, the level of this, you can start the pattern of the young lady. The young lady has a lot of patterns. This one is, as it's the gold, obviously one of the better ones. She can spawn here, where she's backstabbable. Here, same thing. Here, same thing. So all this arc, she's backstabbable. So you should do only one breach. Which saves, I think, a second over doing the two breaches. It's pretty nice. If she spawns up here, you'll need to do two breaches, but the cells will end here, which is pretty good. If she spawns here, it's terrible. She will bounce in the middle, and you probably will have a rough time collecting cells and killing the rest. If she spawns here, as she did here, you can do your two breaches, and she will go in this corner and spawn cells in very nice pattern usually. Same thing here, she will go in this corner and spawn cells here. If she spawns on this side of the map, there's a good chance that the cells will spawn roughly in this line, and you will be able to collect quite a bit of the cells. There's different ways of prioritizing cells. Things to pay into account are how far they are from the exit. Taking cells that are far from the exit is pretty good, but also you do want to be able to start moving towards the exit. So in the middle of a cell spawn, you want to go more towards the cells that are in the exit. You also want to pay more attention to the cells that spawn first. It takes quite a while to be able both to react to Young Lady and to the cell spawns. Then you want to click on this, interact through it, and go through. When you're through here, you're going to want to hold left click to be able to go through here, and you want to hold your click so that you reach all the way over there before this becomes an interactable. If you click on this after it becomes an interactable, it's a problem. Then you're going to enter turn and immediately press E once you reach it so that you activate it. And then you're going to click on the other one. I recommend clicking twice because sometimes the first click will not make it interact. And then you're going to unturn when you hear red start interacting with it. then you're going to want to click near Moil. It doesn't really matter. And then there's like 2 lines. Okay. From the narrator. You are going to want to interact with the body in between those 2 lines to be able to do Moil skip. So you want to click on it and then move your mouse. And yeah, then you get the Moil. You can put your mouse on this little triangle here to aim for the next bit, or you can wait until the cutscene is done and aim at the bottom of this big triangle. Both are fine. Then you're going to mash E, and you're going to hold left click and mash dash. You want to do this next section not too fast, because if you do it too fast, it will take quite a bit of time. It will, if you do it too fast, it will not break this set of worlds, which messes up killing this guy afterwards. So you want to go for crash, spark, crash, spark, spark, crash, spark, spark, making sure you destroy those walls. And then you're going to dash to the other side. Now, it's important to be a bit slow. If you realize that, oh, I'm going too fast, then you can delay your crash to make it ensure that you reach here. Then you dash through. You wait a little bit. Here, I didn't wait long. I waited long enough. It surprised me. I waited long enough, and so you crash this guy as soon as it spawns. It takes a little bit of time to get used to the timing for the crash there, but it's very doable consistently. So you crash it as soon as it spawns, then go spark, spark, dash, and you should be able to collect both cells. If you do your crash too early and then spark immediately, the enemy will end up having something like 180 HP. You can crash again and then spark again, and it should land it in the same position and have it die. So just, you know, be careful about that. Then you dash through, collect that, and you're going to want to move your mouse immediately so that it's roughly a little bit to the left of the save point. So you're going to mash, obviously, to make the level up happen faster. When you're going to be in this screen, you're going to be mashing enter. When you get this text, to skip this text, you're going to be mashing jaunt. For me, it's 4. And what that does is it skips that text faster, but also it lands you here once you get out of the thing and actually do a jaunt. And you can immediately do a dash cancel, so pressing E at the end of a dash to interact with something while recovering from a dash. You can dash cancel on the save point. And then you're going to mash enter to equip that. Then you're going to press escape twice. Once you start pressing escape, you can move your mouse towards the exit. Not before. If you do it before, it will mess up the menuing with the enter presses. So you're going to do 2 dashes. You're going to want to hold left click while doing those dashes, and you're going to want to do the dashes a bit slow. You're going to want to walk a little bit between the dashes. So you can see Red walked a little bit there, and then she dashed. That's important because this interactable is a bit more than 2 dashes away from the save point. If you do 2 pure dashes, you won't reach the interactable. And if you go a bit far, it's fine because it needs to walk you this distance anyway. Then you're going to walk the distance, you're going to get pushed back, and you're going to hold up right to go here. You're going to wait until you see this start to spawn. Again, timing takes practice, and go for crash, spark, spark. This kills this enemy while doing a little bit of damage, quite a bit of damage on the jerk. You're then going to dash through to collect the cell as it spawns. Then you are going to do the following thing. Crash, spark, spark, crash, spark, crash, and then you spark until the jerk dies. And then you dash to collect the cells. It is very important to do that in that sequence. Depending on your dash positioning here and your timing on the first crash, enemy patterns can be a little bit different. So you'll have to be a bit careful about that. But optimally, you get something like that, where the jerk dies really quickly, and you can just go about your business. It's also very important to do the pattern correctly, so really crash, spark, spark up here, dash through, then crash, spark, spark, crash, spark, and then crash spark again. You are also going to want to be fast. With most jug 2 patterns, the last crash that you do barely reaches it. And then when you're through this, you're going to want to be holding left click, and you do a little bit of walk, dash, a little bit of walk, dash, and interact with the bike. Be careful, you want to be going roughly in this little area here. If you go a bit too far down, you are not going to be able to actually interact with the bike, and so you're going to have to walk a little bit higher up, and you're going to miss on the dash cancel. One more thing is that for the next cutscene that's coming, you are going to need to be holding spacebar. You can start holding spacebar here. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to be going over cutscenes because they're very trivial, except for one of them, and I'll talk about that way later on. And so that was the first split. Let's move on to the next one. So you've just arrived from the bike. You're going to be putting your mouse around here using accessibility settings again, and you're going to be holding left click, and you're going to be mashing dash. You need to do 4 dashes, 2, 3. On the 3rd and 4th dash, I stop holding the mouse click. Your 4th dash should bring you somewhere between here and here, so in this lineup. If you go a bit too far, it's fine. The enemy will push you quite a bit far, but it's okay. That's fine. You can work with that. If you don't go far enough, the enemy will push you against this block, and it kind of messes up the following pattern and loses a second to a second and a half. So you want to be a bit careful about that. Then you're going to spark this guy. You're going to spark this guy. You're going to dash through. So make sure your dash lands you roughly around here. If you go too far to the left, it's a problem. If you go too far to the right, it's a problem. Just, be a bit careful. And then your next spark is one of the more important ones. You're going to want to make sure that you spark this guy and exactly this guy. This spark will hit both of the bad cells, but it will also wake up this enemy, which will immediately start shooting and pushing you this way, which is very important, because if it doesn't shoot you this way, you get pinned against this wall, and then it's much harder to hit both of those at the same time afterwards. You're then going to want to do another spark immediately on this one to kill the bad cell that's behind it, and then you're going to want to do a spark here to make sure that they have the same amount of HP. And then you're going to want to spark in between the two. It's 4 sparks after this spark here, and on your 4th spark you are going to hold left click and go towards those cells that dropped. If you're pretty fast, you should see an 18 on the timer here. One thing I didn't mention before, if you want to do the things as fast as possible when you're mashing, you can mash both button, so 1, 2, 3, 4, for your for the thing that you want to activate, and right click, so that you have 2 hands mashing basically. You're going to go through the level up screen, mashing for it, and then you want to dash slightly to the left of it up. And then you're going to dash this wall. You're going to be holding left click through all of these dashes. And here is a good visual cue. If you are about here compared to the save point, you have been holding left click way too much. You've been going too far with your dashes. You need to step it way down, but it's going to be too much for the next series of dash. So you need to walk quite a bit and then correct here. So you should see like there's this confluence of arrows. You need to be a little bit to the top left of it. If you dash a little bit optimally, you will be around where red is right now, and that's fine. You just keep holding left click. If you dash in between, you'll be here. Just stop holding left click and do the next series of dash, and you'll be fine. You dash through, you dash again, so you see red is a little bit to the top left of the center of this pattern. That's completely fine. If here you reach this dash and you don't have a fight start, that means you've dashed you're not far in enough. Walk a little bit, then do your final dash. Your final dash should take you a little bit underneath this wall. You want to do a spark against the wall. If you dashed, it felt that you dashed too far down, you are going to want to hold up. If you see this guy have his red bubble around him, you want to walk a bit up and left so that this guy doesn't hit you, and then do your spark. Either way, you need to do the spark roughly in the middle. Be careful if you're against the wall and you aim straight up, you can shoot through the wall. So you want to aim a little bit upright if you're against left, sorry, if you're against the wall. That spark will kill both of them, and then you hold up so that you go into the wall so that this guy doesn't shoot at you. If he shoots at you, the cell will move a little bit here. It's fine, just wait for the cell to make its way back to you once it stops shooting. Loses a little bit of time, but you know, not run killer. Then you're going to dash through. This guy is going to start hitting you, which is very handy because it pushes us where we want to go. You're going to spark this weed, you're going to hold right, and you're going to aim for this weed. Don't aim for the spot in the middle, really aim far down, and then you're going to do your spark for those weeds. Be sure, it's very important, I'm going to repeat it again, aim for this weed. You're going to be tempted to aim in between, and aiming in between will mean you hit just the top one. Once you've done that, you do another dash. Grab those two of these and just start sparking around. You want to make sure that you hit both of them with the same amount of damage. Here I was a little bit short on the top one. That's usually fine. If you messed up a little bit of strat, one of the enemies can go around the broken wall. Usually you are still able to hit both of them with a single spark, but it's pretty tight. So do the strat correctly from the start of this battle, and you shouldn't have that. Once you've done that, you dash towards the interactable, interact with the door, and you want to aim your mouse slightly to the right of the upright. So not purely upright, but slightly to the right of that. And that's going to mean that your dashes go in this lineup. You are going to want to do 6 dashes and then a 7th one basically to the right. You're then going to walk a little bit to the right if you're not too far to the right already. So you have this nice post as a good visual cue. You're going to aim for the cheerleader, and that's going to, with a crash, and that's going to hit the load, which is going to go towards the cheerleader, which is going to crash. You want your mouse to be positioned roughly a little bit to the left of the little light bulb effect from the cheerleader, so that you can dash into the correct spot here. These dashes are pretty tight. They need practice. This fight takes a bit of practice to get relatively consistent. So you want to do that dash so that you're on the left of the cheerleader. Then you're going to want to dash through. There's a little square, well, rectangle thing here. You want to be around the top of it, the top corner of it. You're then going to wait for this enemy to round the corner. When you see it change from going up to going down right, you can do your crash. It will hit both of them, and you will get both of the cells. There is a strat here that I do not do, that you can do. You can try to fit in a dash before collecting both cells. If you time it properly, you will get the dash while the walls are down, and you will save a second. I do not do this strat for a very simple reason, and that's that it's very hard not to interact with the save point while mashing through the level up. And I've had trouble with it, but you know, if you can do it consistently, more power to you. You want to make sure too, while you're getting here, that your controller is lit up. If you have a wireless controller, make sure that it's awake. You usually make sure that it's awake at all times. I try to wiggle the C-stick in between splits or resets. You're going to go through this level up, you're going to mash enter, and as before, you're going to mash dash here, so that you dash immediately towards the save point. You obviously place your mouse towards the save point, and and then immediately dash cancel on it. Here there's a very simple menuing to do. You go right R 3, right R, left left 2, left 1, left 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 1, and then escape. So again, from the start, let's do it as we go through. I tend to do it pretty fast because I've done this quite a bit now. So you start on the load. You need to be careful not to move your mouse, otherwise it screws everything up. You do right R3, that equips crash on your spark. Then right R, then left left 2, that puts load in spot 2. Left 1, that puts bounce in spot 1. Left 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 2, that augments loads with your reach, so that you can put load farther away. And then you're going to hit escape, and as you hit escape, you're going to move your mouse towards the top so that you can immediately dash towards this transition and interact with it with dash cancel. And that's it for this. Next bit. You're going to enter Sybil Skip. Sybil Skip is pretty easy, been described in Sina's video. I'm going to go over a few visual cues that I use to make sure that I've got everything right. So, you know, your usual 4 up lefts, 2 left, 4 down left. You know you've done 4 when you see this cue disappear. Then you go 3 down. It sadly, 3 down doesn't have a good visual cue, but it's fine. And then you go with your 9 down right. After the 6 down right, if you counted correctly, so you see how a camera moves. Here, you see it moves a lot. On the 6th one, it moves a little bit. That was the 6th one. And then you do 3 more. 3. And if you've done this correctly, you should hit 22 seconds, sorry, on the timer, on the split timer for the split. And then you can hold up right and do your 21 dashes. Now I completely stopped counting those dashes because counting to 21 is annoying and I dislike it. And yeah, I just stop. So you do your 21 upright dashes. You are not going to count them. You are going to pay attention to the timer, and on your 21st upright should happen on the 41st second. That was the last upright, and then you hold up and you do your 7. You use the audio cue to know that you're on the 7th. To confirm, you do your 4 up left, and then your left, and you get this audio cue that you know you're at the correct spot. And more importantly, you're going to use subtitles. I have subtitles active, and that's for good reason. It's so that I can use those triple dots and generally the wall text to know when to press tab. When the text disappears, press tab. This is going to reappear. That's fine. You just hold your tab press and it'll be fine. It'll go through. And there you have it. That's Sybil Skip. Next up, We All Become. We're going to skip the start of We All Become. Just remember you need to click and mash to start the cutscene. Near the end of the cutscene, you're going to want your mouse to be roughly upright, and you're going to want to start clicking towards upright. There's this triangle that I use as a good cue. It's fine. You can go anywhere near the body. When you reach near the body, you can click on it, and then Red will interact with it. It's pretty fast. Not much to say. Click on the body to make sure that you interact with it as soon as Red reaches it. Next up, Sybil. Sybil starts. I do a specific strat which is called Kiss of Sybil, that Senna, another runner of the community, came up with. I thought that they missed the thing. Right, yeah, you're going to want to you're going to want to position your mouse roughly on top of Sybil, a bit idly above her, and then you're going to do a load. Sybil wakes up. You're going to hold upright and a little bit of up, and then place another load, then spark. Again, a reminder that you can press load and right click to, sorry, you can press the interaction. One more time. You can press the number key that you want and right click to as the mashing technique to mash faster. So yeah, you can do that. You just do that as you mash, and then Sybil is going to get exploded and pushed to the left. You place your mouse so that it's a bit to the top left of it, and immediately start mashing your loads. You can mash your loads while the explosion is happening. The load gets spawned at the spot of your mouse when you want it. And then you mash for the spark. And then there's multiple things that can happen. Obviously, this is a comp sub, so the best thing happened. First thing is Sybil ends up here. No cheerleader in the way. Perfect. Good. You can do your first load with your mouse, and then do your next 2 loads with controller, and then you do 2 sparks with controller. High set. Alternatively, red ends up here, Sybil ends up here, and there's enemies in the way. If that's the case, you want to make sure that your crashes aren't with control. It's going to be tight if there's weeds that spawn in the way, though. Just as a warning. If there is a strat that is 2 seconds slower, you can enter turn and do your 2 sparks in turn. If Sybil ends up here, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot do your loads with controller. If you try to, they will not be in the right spot. And same thing with your sparks. So you're going to do your 2 sparks manually, and after you're placing your 2 loads. But there's a chance that she ends up here, which is the best spot. You can then place the load next to her, and then you're going to crash the load. There's a good visual cue for it when this enemy moves up to this point. An important thing, this visual cue only works if you haven't been hit by a weed. If a weed hits you, it will wake up immediately and go after you. And then you're going to need to just, wait for the proper timing for your load explosion. Once you've done this, Sybil is dead. You're going to want to position yourself a bit far to the right of her so that you are ready to go as soon as you finish getting her essence. You get her essence, and you want your mouse to be roughly around this spot. And you're going to hold left click. And then when in between getting the essence and this thing popping up, you are going to be able to move a little bit. I usually mash left click a few times and then hold it. That seems to work pretty well. And then you're going to mash, obviously, through this experience gain thing. And once you're done mashing, you're going to do your jaunts. One important thing about this series of jaunts is the last one. You want to click idly on the interactable, and you want to be roughly at this line before doing your jaunt. And another thing is you want to jaunt towards the corner. You don't want to jaunt here, you want to jaunt where red is, right here. If you jaunt here, it will not work. If you are, and you previous jaunt here, just walk forward, and then do your dash when you reach here. And then you interact with boat and everything's fine. I'm good set. I'm going through strats because I want people to know everything I came up with, and be able to, you know, reproduce it. So that's what we're doing. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, then you can get your dash cancel here. Oh, this term I haven't used yet. That's important to know. It's perfect dash cancels. When we dash, hold up. When you dash, you want to dash cancel when you dash on an interactable. Sorry, got distracted for a second. I'm good. If you dash towards an interactable and then interacts, that's dash cancel if you interact with E. But if you clicked on the interactable, it's queued in, and if you dash to that interactable, it will automatically interact with it, and it will interact with it on the first frame possible. And that's the perfect dash cancel. It saves fractions of a second, but those add up. I'm doing good, Rat. I'm sad I missed the previous Rat a Wild stream, but also you didn't seem to make too much of discoveries. I caught up on it pretty fast. Yeah, I saw that. More tonight? Eyes. Okay. Past the next cutscene, we're gonna reach port 37. On port 37, you're going to want to mash spacebar. Usually I mash it once I reach 1 minute on the timer. I start mashing. That allows you to skip the narrator starting to speak, and so you can just dash through. So you're going to want to do your dash to the top left. Important thing to note is you want, once you cancel the turn, you want to mash your dash. You also want to mash left click. That's a rat. You also want to mash left click so that you start doing actual movement here. So you are going to do your dashes. You can perfect dash cancel on this door. It's not really necessary, but you can do it. You can left click on this door to do a perfect dash cancel here. And then you're going to mash spacebar here. If you see a photo of red appear, you failed the trick. Just retry or reset the run. No big deal. If you don't see a photo appear, you got the trick and you now have no clip. And then you cancel your turn. You're going to do a single dash here. You're going to use your left click. You might want to mash click a little bit more just to make sure, but then hold it to be able to walk through this little fight boundary here. And as soon as you're through, you're going to mash dash. You want your mouse to be slightly up from the right angle, and there's a few visual cues to help you here. The first one is this red dot. If you see that your mouse is a little bit to the right of it, or red is going towards the right of it, you're going a bit too far right. You need to go a bit farther left. I will mention, ideally, you are not going to be going perfectly towards the transition. You want to go towards the right of an interaction that takes you to the next part. So you're going to be going over here. If you see yourself go be visible here, you probably are a bit far right, and that's fine, just correct for the end. If you see yourself not visible, you are not. You are going to want to, that went a bit too fast. You're going to want to do one more dash here, and then for the last one, you can click on the interactable and dash towards it. And that will give you a perfect dash cancel, and red will immediately go towards the transition. You want your perfect dash cancel to pin roughly around here. If it happens here or here or here, it will be a bit slower because red will have more to walk through to get towards the end. Yeah, and then red walks towards the end, and that's it. Next up, Canals. Canals is one of the splits I think that is the hardest to get consistently fast. So don't fret if you don't have perfect canals, it's really hard. So you're going to enter Canals, you're going to be holding left click, you want your mouse to be roughly around here, and you're going to be mashing dash to be able to do your first dash. You're going to be dashing towards this direction, and you're going to be doing the skip. You're still holding left click, so red will start walking after your fourth dash. When red reaches this line, you can do your dash to go towards the skip place. I do not have a good visual cue for the skip place. I know it's here. I know where my mouse should be, but it's pretty lenient. But sometimes it's a failure. You want to dash between those two, is what I know. You're going to be still holding left click, and you're going to want to move it so that your mouse is to the left of this row of objects, and then you dash that. You dash through this. This one, these three don't really matter. Your fourth dash should bring you around here. It's fine wherever it goes. Then you're going to do one more dash holding left click that lands you around here, and then you're going to stop holding left click so that you don't walk. It's important not to. You're then going to do dashes towards roughly the left, and you're going to have this lamppost as a visual cue. You're going to want to aim for that lamppost. Ideally, you can go slightly lower, but you risk activating this fight and getting locked in. So yeah, be careful. You go in here, you activate the fight without getting locked in, and then as your dash is recovering, you are going to start holding left click again and move your mouse to be towards the bounce here. You're going to then do a dash that is going to be walkie. You're going to walk from that dash again, do another dash. You're going to be around this. You're still holding left click, you do another dash that lands you between those two walls. Perfect. Now you're going to want to move your mouse. This dash can be a bit tricky. Often you will collide with this wall. If you collide with this wall, just do the second dash as normal. You're going to want to aim for the right side of this wall. Be careful not to dash too high. If you dash too high, it activates this clocker and loses a lot of time. If you dash too low, it's fine. You're going to hit this wall, and that's fine. Then you're going to do load and spark. You're going to be usually a bit high on this wall, and so you're going to want to be holding down while doing the fight inputs. And then you're going to do the overload. If you are not clear of this wall, and even if you are, honestly, I recommend aiming the spark a bit farther down than I aimed here. That makes it so that it still hits the load and still crashes the clocker, but it does not have a risk of hitting this wall. If you are against the wall and try to hit directly with the clocker, there's a good chance that you're actually going to hit the wall and lose, I think, 0.7. And then you have a load explode, you dash through. Make sure you collect this cell before you do your next dash. Sometimes it will go a bit farther, and you are going to want to wait for it before you do your next dash. Then you walk and dash again, hold your left click, and do your dashes. You should be doing these dashes a bit less than optimal. I was getting laggy dashes here. If you do your dashes a bit less than optimal while walking, you will land above this corner. Once you're above this corner, you're going to want to do 2 right dashes, and then you're going to want to aim towards a transition here. You're going to do 1 more dash walking, and then you're going to mash left click on this to be able to do a perfect dash cancel on it. And here you're going to be wanting to hold left click or tap it in the general direction you want to go. Again, this is something you want to learn by doing. There's no good visual cue for it that I know of, and you're going to want to click on this interactable. And then you're going to want to move your mouse so that it's on this table. When you start going through, stop moving it. It's good. But yes, you want your mouse on this table. Use your accessibility settings to make sure that your mouse is roughly here. And then you're going to do a dash while walking. You hold your left click. and then you're going to do another dash, but you wait until the clocker has shot its first projectile before doing your second dash. As soon as you see it start lobbing, or see this big red thing, you are going to want to do your second dash. And then you immediately do your third dash. Sorry, never mind. You immediately walk towards this triangle. Forgot my own strat for a second. And once you reach the top of this triangle, you are going to want to aim your load. And you want to aim your load towards this cheerleader. If you try to aim between them, there's a good chance that the clocker will accidentally get the ray from the cheerleader to protect your load, and that fucks things up. So you want to aim here. Here I aimed a bit high, and I got lucky, the clocker didn't trigger the thing. You're then going to spark this wall, so I'm holding up left while doing this. It sparks the wall explodes both of the cheerleaders, and then you're going to want to walk here. This clocker usually doesn't shoot this alley, but that's fine. Usually it shoots at you when you reach about this spot, and at this point it will bounce you towards this corner, and this will keep you from going too far. You're going to want to aim your load very far left so that it reaches the maximum distance and is near this wall. Then you're going to get knocked by the second clocker, and then you're going to walk forward. Make sure that all three enemies are in the range of one spark and hit all three of them. If you get all three enemies in the load, it should be a fast fight no matter what. The biggest problem is if you don't get them all in the range of the load. As long as they're all in the range of a load, you're fine. Then you collect the cells. This fight is also one of the harder fights. You're going to mash enter. Be careful, remember that there's 2 things to mash enter through. And remember to mash left click and 1, 2, 3, 4 to skip after the thing. And on the second one, you're going once again to mash 4 for jaunt, to be able to jaunt immediately in this spot. You're going to do 3 jaunts down, and you can do a perfect dash cancel here, which I did here. If your 3 jaunts down bring you more like here, you need to aim for this section. If you aim for the middle, you will bonk. So you want to aim down here, and that means you don't get a perfect dash cancel. That's fine, you still get the dash cancel, that's fine. And then here, you're going to want to move your mouse up from here, so that you're in a good position to do your first dash. Second dash goes through this lamp. Third dash, you're holding left click all the time so that red walks while doing this. And do another dash. This dash should be aimed roughly at the level of the lamp. Here's fine. Then you're going to do a dash that should aim a bit towards these. And then you're going to want to dash towards this. Be careful not to dash too far down, right? Because you can hit this, you can go too far. If you go too far to the left, it's fine. You can then walk a little bit, and you see there's these lights on the bottom. You want to be slightly past the second light, and you're going to want to dash between those 2. If you are too far, you will trigger the fight. If you are not far enough, so roughly here, you will either not dash through, or you will trigger the fight on the other side. You can just not go far enough. Once you reach a perfect spot, you dash, and you're going to want to aim your mouse around this line and slightly above it while holding left click so that red walks between dashes. This makes it so that red is going to dash towards this intractable and be in good range, so that when you left click on it for a perfect dash cancel and dash towards it, she will reach it and perfect dash cancel. Yeah, Ice. I got pretty good knowledge of the game. I've run it a little bit. I allowed that a lot of strats. Next split. From here, this split is pretty cozy, in my opinion. You are going to be holding left click, and you're going to aim roughly where I'm aiming at. You're going to want to be aiming a bit down right from the save point. You're going to be doing your first dash, not immediately, so don't mash. You're going to want to be a little bit away from this corner. So you walk a little bit away from this corner, do your first dash, you're holding left click, do your second dash. You can stop holding left click after your second dash, and you can click on the interactable here and immediately dash. And that gives you a perfect dash cancel. You can just not do the perfect dash cancel and do your last dash, then interact for a normal dash cancel. That's fine. You're then going to want to get into this spot. So there's like a little mark on the floor, and you can get on the top of the corner of this mark. It's a pretty easy line. There's like a line here. You go to the top right, I guess, of this line. And then you're going to be waiting. Your mouse should be roughly here, so under this corner. If you imagine there's a rectangle here, it's at the bottom corner of this rectangle. And you're going to be mashing load. The narrator is going to say something's wrong, and then the fight starts. So you place your load here, then you place load in the other corner. It really doesn't matter how far in the corner you are. This is an auto-scroller, it's very forgiving. And your positioning here means you get the first cell. You're then going to walk up left, and that will get you the second cell. And then you're going to dash towards the middle of the arena. There's a convenient little circle here. You need to be a little bit to the left of the circle, so your head should be to the left of the circle. Then you're going to spark the load at the top, spark the load at the bottom. A cell falls on you, you collect the cell, and immediately dash through as soon as you collect the cell right here to collect another cell. You can place another load here. It's really not required. You collect your cells here, place another load. This is where the next enemy we need to kill is going to spawn. I placed a third one just for fun. You can place 2 loads during the swirl sequence, and that makes it so that you can crash this early to kill this enemy. So I don't know if you saw it, there was an enemy that spawned here. The previous strat had only 1 load, and you had to time your crash, but if you crashed a bit late, you could not kill the enemy. That's a bit of a problem. So once the last cell has spawned here, you wait just a little bit, then crash, and it doesn't matter if your crash doesn't hit the enemy. There's like 3 loads that exploded in his face, it's dead. Then you do 2 loads here, you're collecting both the cell from the enemy and the other cell, and wait just a tiny bit, crash, spark, and the enemy dies. And then you collect that cell, and immediately after collecting that cell, you want to dash here to collect the next and last cell. Once you collect the cell, you skip through the experience thing and do 1 more dash to get towards that spot. You want to line yourself up so that your face is hidden by this beam, and your mouse, I had a previous visual cue for this. You have 2 visual cues. Your mouse is either here at the corner of those 2 yellow lines, or here at the corner of those 2 yellow lines. Either way, you're going to wait until your mouse disappears, and once your mouse disappears, you can hold left click and dash as soon as possible. Once you have done this is the hard part to do fast. You are going to want to move your mouse so that it's upright from you. This is a very fast movement to do. If you go too far to the right, it'll be a bit slow on the save, that's fine. If you go way too far up, you will bonk against the wall, and that loses more time, so be careful. It takes a little bit to practice, but doable. You're going to do your 3 dashes, and if you do them properly, you should be activating the save point. You then click on the save point, make sure that it's queued in, and hold down left. Learning how much to hold down left is something you need practice for. Once you've done that, you have a save point that goes down, you do your save displacement, so enter turn, and you're going to do your 5 dashes upright. You can cancel as soon as you hear the sound, cancel, end the turn as soon as you hear the sound for the 5th dash. It's dash, 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 dash. And this displaces the save here. You're going to mash escape, Don't mash too fast, otherwise you can mash through the menu. But yeah, mash escape, and when you reach a menu, hit down, enter, enter. And that will displace the save and reset the run at this point. Reload the run at this point. And that's your first save displace. The important thing to remember is when you hit the menu, down, enter, enter to skip through, do not move your mouse while doing this, otherwise the menuing gets fucked. Next up, Gondola Skip. Gondola Skip is tough. Position your mouse so that it's up and a bit to the right from you, so that as soon as you load in, you immediately mash jaunt and get your first jaunt. You want to be mashing left click while doing this, so that you get some walk movement like this. You then want to dash pretty much straight up. Not completely straight up, if you do you will bonk, but pretty much straight up. Then you want to do normal jaunts here. You can do walking jaunts. You do 2 of them, and then you do 1 more jaunt here. You then are going to left click on the interactable, and then enter turn, hold up, so that you rub against the interactable for a little bit. That makes it so that the turn triggers the interactable. Then you are going to dash between those 2 blue and orange dot. So 1 dash there. You are going to aim for this corner of the UI, do 3 dashes, 1, 2, 3. Then you are going to aim for this spot and do 1, 2, 3. And then you are going to do 2 more dashes towards the save. This is, again, sub, doing it really optimally. It is really hard to do optimally. Don't worry if you're losing a bit of time doing it. Completely understandable. I often lost 5 seconds to the split. Very hard to do. And then you're going to interact with the save. Press enter 3 times, escape 3 times, and then down enter, enter. And there you go. That's Gondola Skip. Next up, elevator. Elevator is pretty chill. Elevator, you want to have your mouse moved down right to your first dash. You want to be moving your mouse after the save reset so that the mouse position gets saved. If you don't move the mouse and just have your mouse in position, it will dash to the top left for some reason. I don't know why still. So you want your mouse to be down right so that your first dash goes down right. You are going to want to do these dashes while holding left click, but be careful here. This can be a bit tricky. You can do the dashes without walking. It will be a bit slower, but at least you get this section, this dash of the wall, much easier. Then you go there, and here you want to dash this wall. I recommend walking a little bit and then dashing through. Then here you're going to do 2 dashes while still holding left click to walk. Here you're going to hold upright, and that is going to nudge you against the corner under the S. And then while you nudge under the corner under the S, you are going to dash towards this blue square. So if you look here, my mouse was on the blue square. That's my visual cue. Then you're going to want to dash in this direction. No good visual cue, just underneath this bulbous thing. And then you're going to dash across this path. You hold left click the whole time to be walking. If you walked a lot, you will be roughly here. If you didn't walk a lot, you'll be roughly here. That's fine. Either way, you dash through, you'll end up pretty much in the same spot. Then you dash there, you dash downwards again, and you then dash to the right. Each time you're crossing a little bit of corner, see a little bit of wall, it's fine, but just, remember that something that's happening, and if your dashes aren't proper, you might collide with the walls. Once you're here, you're going to want to walk until you actually hit the wall here before dashing here. If you don't hit the wall, your dash will just bonk. So you need to walk through. To walk right up against the wall before dashing through. You're then going to do the dashes up the stairs. Your last dash actually cuts a corner here, optimally. And then another dash to cut a corner here. And then you're going to dash upright. You're going to dash a little bit more up than just the upright. You're going to go here, dash across next to this light. And then you're going to click this for a perfect dash cancel, wait a bit of walking, and then dash towards it. And there you go. Next up is Spine Skip. Spine Skip is difficult to pull off and also has RNG, which is always fun. We love RNG in this game. So you're going to be holding left click. You move your mouse to be aiming under this corner here. That's going to should pop up. And you're holding left click. You wait until you see red walk and then dash. You are going to delay your dashes slightly here to be in the correct spots. So same thing here. We want to be under this corner. We do a dash after walking just a tiny bit. Same thing here. We walk and dash through. Again, walk and dash through. The dash positions are something you have to learn a little bit. Here, be careful to dash a bit farther up than you'd expect. If you dash too far right, you will bonk in this corner here. Then you hold left click a bit more and you dash through towards this circle. And then you do 1, 2, 3 dashes, immediately enter turn. And then you do 3 dashes, exit turn. It's important that you do 3 dashes and not 4 dashes, because that lines up the cells that are going to spawn better. Here, the cells are going to spread. Some spreads are better than others. You are going to count the number of dashes you do from here on out. So that was 1 dash. With a little bit of walk, it's almost 2 dashes. This is 3 dashes. 4, 5, 6. After the 6th dash, you are pretty guaranteed that the next hit that's going to come is very soon and you won't have time for another dash. Spine hits you every 4 to 6 dashes, roughly, in that time, in that range. So you want to do at maximum 6 dashes. If you want to be very safe, you can do 4 dashes. If you want to be very fast, usually you do 6. If you want middle ground, do 5. You know, when you hear Spine start to wind up for its tail hit, just walked back towards the spot you were, and you are going to want to get hit in the direction you want to go and dash just after getting hit. That boosts your dash a little bit. So that's 2 dashes, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 dashes. I'm waiting for the spine hit. Spine falls down. I stop in my tracks, get hit, and dash immediately. I'm now at 1 hit away from entering emergency turn. So I've been hit twice by 3 times. Twice by the spine, plus the extra time at the start next to the jerk. 3 times at the spine. You're then going to do your dashes. And the last interaction with it should be with the other C. You can dash towards it, but if you dash towards it, chances are that if you get a 5 hit there, you will not be in range of a hit. If you get hit while starting the interaction, it's fine. Another thing that's good to mention is usually you will start interacting with this and then have a little bit of time before spine spawns. Move your mouse towards this door so that when this ends, you can dash towards the door. So you unturn, you dash towards the door, and immediately can dash cancel on the door. You're then going to do the blind dashes. They're mostly more top than top right dashes, and you're going to dash across this gap. I recommend going into the corner and then just dashing towards your right. If spine hits you during this wall section, it's 3 seconds. Then you can dash a little bit down right and then towards the right. And then you're going to dash towards the right again, and then a little bit top right once you hit the kind of maze here. You can buffer an interaction with this door by clicking on it. Make sure that you know if you have done it or not. If you haven't hit E to interact with door, press escape, then mash turn, and you are going to want to unturn only once you see red turn around. If you do it too early, you won't get no clip. Then you're going to want to dash up, and you're going to use the subtitles to know where to dash up. Mash click, by the way, so that you also walk while doing your dashes, and you're going to use this character as a good guide. It's your first guide in the series of visual cues. If you're out way to the left of it, you probably are dashing way left and need to correct. If you're to the right of it, same thing. You need to be around it. It's okay if you're going too far right. It's not if you're going too far left. Correct early on. This is the second visual cue, this circle. You can be a little bit to the left or on it. If you're to the right of it, you're probably too far right. If you're way to the left of it, you're too far left. Then you're going to keep dashing. Make sure here that you're going to dodge the spine. It can actually hit you. And here, this save point is another visual cue. If you're to the left of the save point, it's a bit dicey. If you're far left, you're going to activate a fight. If you're to the left, you might activate fight. If you're on the save point or to its right, it's fine. Thank you, Nia. I'm just commenting. Once you reach around this spot, you're pretty clear of the fight start boundary. It's around here, so you're fine. You can dash towards these red lines to correct a bit towards the left. You want to correct a bit towards the left because you really don't want to dash into this head from spine. And you can use this as a visual cue for where to dash. And there's going to be a few more. Here, this construction, I try to be roughly lined up with this, so the second red beam from the center beam here. So I try to be like on this kind of lineup. If I see that I'm not there, I might correct a little bit. And then here, I was pretty far right on this one. So you're going to do all your dashes. You want your last dash to take you a bit higher and to the left than anything else. If you go too far to the right, you will trigger spine before triggering the thing. And yeah, no worries. We are only on the 11th out of, I think, 25, something like that. And it's been an hour 10. But yeah, you want to be a bit more to the left and obviously above the door. And then you're going to click on the door and mash E. And that gets you through the door. And that's spine skip. Now, Towers Facade number 1. For Towers Facade number 1, you're going to use controller, and only controller and keyboard. No mouse. So you're going to be holding up right here, and you're going to tap right just a tiny bit. So you see red did the few right movements there, and up right. And then you're going to hold jaunt. I'm glad. You're going to hold jaunt, and as soon as you did your jaunt, you can dash cancel on this interactable. And then you are going to, from here, you are going to do a little bit of walk down right, then do a jaunt, and do a jaunt to the right. The little walk is so that this jaunt to the right doesn't bonk. And then you're going to walk a tiny fraction to the top right, and then do a jaunt, and interact cancel, dash cancel on this. You are then going to be mashing turn really fast here to be able to get no clip. This is easy to fail, but you know, don't fail it. You get no clip, and you are going to press up and then hold jaunt. You need to walk a tiny bit up here, so that on the next spot, right up here you get a dash cancel. If you don't hold up after you get no clip, God, if you don't hold up here for just a tiny bit of walk, you will not get the dash cancel later. Reminder that dash cancels are about 0.7s to 0.9, so they're pretty huge amounts of time save. And yeah, this is a short split. That was a short split. Here is tower left. This deviates from the tutorial by center, so we're going to be talking a little bit about it. You are going to want to have you move your mouse during either the spine skip or the wall section as before, so that it's roughly around here. I don't have a good visual cue for something that allows you to position it over here, but you're going to want it to be on this launch pad, and you're going to click on the launch pad. Once red clears this corner, you can do your first dash. Now, here I did a manual dash, but there's actually a better strat that I found later. You can, once you've done your first dash and immediately perfect dash cancel that, you can use controller and hold up while this is going and hold jaunt to be able to do the skip. It is consistent. If you go for it too late though, red will move up instead of jaunting up and then activate the fight. So, be careful about that. Okay? But if you don't do the control strat, you need to aim for the right side of this O. So there's this like O thing, aim for the right side of it. If you do the control strat, you can do a upright dash here and then switch to mouse. If you don't do the control strat, you can just dash through. But you are going to need the same amount of dashes to get your perfect dash cancel on this door. So you're going to left click on it and dash towards it, and as soon as you do this dash, you are going to move your mouse down. So your mouse should be at the bottom of your screen right now. Then you are going to move, so I do this with, it's a bit weird, I move my right hand to be on W and Q. W and A, sorry. And hold W and A. As soon as the elevator is at the top, you are going to be hitting the escape for the animation cancel. So you're going to hit escape. Do not mash escape as fast as possible. That doesn't give you a perfect animation cancel. You need to hit escape with a rhythm so that a little bit of the animation goes through. You're then going to do a dash towards where your mouse should be. If you move your mouse straight down, you can actually get an interaction cancel on the launch pad. Then you're going to get launch through, you're going to spark here, put down a load, spark again. I recommend placing the load a little bit farther to the left than I did here, so that you can collect both of these cells fast, because the load can blow the cell towards you. You're then going to dash towards here, go to in this corner, and you will see this little infinity sign here. You are going to want to aim just slightly above it or on it and dash. It's very important that you do not go in this section of the map, otherwise you will activate fight. So be careful about that. Then you are going to want to left click on this intractable and dash to it. I didn't left click here, but it's fine. If you don't left click on it for perfect dash cancel, you can do normal dash cancel on it. Do the same strat as before, crash, load, spark, load, spark. Make sure that you collected both cells before dashing through. Also, one thing, because of the XP skip strat, the AI for the clocker is disabled, which is very nice. And then here you're going to do the same thing again. Crash, load, spark, load, spark. You should place your load again pretty far back so that the cells spawn at the correct time. And then once you collected all of these cells, you are going to be launched from this launchpad, and you do 3 sparks here. It's important you do 3 because sometimes 2 will not kill the second weed, and if that happens, you have to kill it. Then you're going to dash back into this corner. you're going to go into this corner perfectly, and you're going to aim under this one infinity sign. Then you're going to do 2 dashes towards this launch pad, which you can perfect animation cancel. Go upright to this launch pad, which you animation cancel. Then go left and then up, left and then up. And you're going to be in this little corner, and then you're going to do the frame perfect. I hope you practice it well. You're then going to blindly use the launch pad by holding right and E, and then you are going to go up, press enter while this is going on to advance the dialog. Press E to interact with the launch pad, and immediately hit escape. What I do here is usually I move my left hand towards escape and move my right hand towards spacebar, so that I can mash spacebar as soon as I hit escape. So I hit mash escape and then mash spacebar. And then you're going to hold up left, go all the way to this line here, go all the way up, interact with the terminal. Make sure, oh, this is an important thing that I glossed over. Make sure that you move your mouse towards the button. You have ample time here while the terminal is going to appear to spot where the button is and remember it. And when you remember where it is, you can move your mouse here. You might be able to use these characters as visual cues. I didn't feel the need for it, but you might need it. Then this is going to go through, blah, 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 blah. You're going to hit escape. Hit escape once. Be careful not to mash escape. Otherwise you might open the menu and lose a tiny bit of time doing that. And then you mash left click to immediately go towards the button and interact with it. Next up, Towers Facade 2. Towers Facade 2. You go with mouse dashes, you go down right. Then you go down right again. You're holding left click all this while, and you want to go just a tiny bit above right, really tiny bit. And you want your dashes to not be perfect, and that lines you up so that your last dash goes on this little section of interactable so that you can dash cancel here. This is a very short split, but it's really hard to actually get this dash cancel. This is one of the harder dash cancels in the game, and it loses second if you fail it. So, you know, hard. Just, you know, do it in runs, try to get it. If you don't get it, oh well, but it's a full second. Next up, save displacement number 2. You're going to do dashes down right. These dashes really do not matter if you get them fast or not. You're then going to keep moving down right. As soon as you see the thing pop out, you're going to left click on it, hold up left, enter turn when it goes in. You're going to dash towards it, then you're going to dash roughly up. Then you're going to do your 3 dashes upright. You want to be, so you see like in this corridor of dots, there's this little corridor here between this square and this square. You want to reach this corridor. If you stop before the middle of this corridor, it will not go far enough. So be careful about that. So dash, 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 save, happens, escape, down, enter, enter. Now, for this, you're going to have your mouse pretty much in this direction, and that's fine. Just wiggle your mouse again from the save. You want to wiggle your mouse so that you're sure that it remembers your position. If you don't, you will dash into this wall, and bonk. And then you're going to mash dash, and you're going to be holding left click the whole time. And here you're going to want to walk. You don't dash into the wall like a barbarian. You walk a little bit close and then dash through it, like a civilized person. And then you're going to do your dashes there. You dash through this corner, you dash through this corner, you dash through this corner, and then you dash so that you are between these 2 walls. You don't want to dash right here. You want to dash between these 2 walls. and then you're going to dash down left. Now here, be very careful, there's a fight here. If you activate it, A, it's time loss. More importantly, B, you can crash the game. So be careful. Do the dash around this corner. Be careful not to go too far in and go dash again. You're going to walk a little bit, dash onto this elevator, and you're going to left click on this terminal and dash towards it for a perfect dash cancel. Place your mouse on the elevator button, be ready to hit escape to quit the terminal, and then left click and dash to do a dash cancel on the elevator. Next up, one of the shortest split in the game, you're going to dash down left while holding left click. It's a little bit more than down left, but roughly down left. You are going to want to do your last dash so that it ends up roughly lined up with this spot in the tiles. It's a good spot in my opinion to, use as visual cue. You're then going to move your mouse pretty much straight down so that it's on this, and then you're going to go up until the save point is hidden by your turn UI thing. At that point, you can go into turn, do your dash down, move your mouse straight up, and do your 3 dashes up. You are then, a little bit of a thing. If you want to avoid the soft lock later, be guaranteed to, there are spots here that avoid it. I do not know them. But there are spots where you will dash straight up and just not trigger any enemies. I do not know them. You're then going to be removing your fighting utensils. So you're going to hit left, remove, left, remove, left, left, remove. Once again, from the start. Left, left, remove, left, remove, left, left, remove. And then escape, enter to confirm that you do not want to have things equipped. The game is a bit pissed about that. So tell it, no, I'm sure about what I'm doing. And then escape again, and down, enter, enter. And those shortest split in the game, you hold up from the load and dash with your control. Do control dash and dash cancel on the wall. And the enemies might hit you, might not wake up, depending on position. Here, if you are soft-lock, you will hear your feet pitter-patter, and you know that you're soft-locked. Just retry. If you're not soft-locked, you're not soft-locked. There's this elevator that takes a little bit. And then you want to click down right, then up right. You want to use mouse so that your movement is optimal. You can't dash in this section. And you want to click on this interactable, go through. And you are going to be holding up left coming up in this room, and you are going to tap left a couple of times. If you paid attention to red movement there, you saw the little left taps. Then you're going to interact with the OVC, press enter, and then immediately hit escape. You're gonna go tidbit to the left and then up left. You want to be in Grant's pants here and interact with E. And through these two, you're going to want to position your mouse so it's in between the two vials here. So if you look at the end of here, especially here, here's a good moment to, position your mouse. And the camera is going to move a bit more down, and that tells you that my mouse was a bit too far down. I need to move it up. Mash E, by the way. If you don't mash E, you cannot get the cutscene skip afterwards. So you want to mash E. And after this gets sorted, you want to get a mash spacebar, like right after. You want to mash spacebar and left click. So I'm mashing spacebar and left click, so that I start moving in the while I'm entering turn. And You can hold up at the end there if you feel that your mouse position is not perfect. I usually do that, so that you get nudge in the nuke between the two cylinders, and then you mash E again. And then you get the constant skip. I see the comment from Learn about the 34 flat. I forgot it. How much that was an expected thing. And here's a hold up. I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna open up a scene because I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna really quickly go to my world record. Mute for this, please. Thank you. And just go to the scene I'm using for that. Hold up. For Nimbus Cloud. Give me a second. Sorry. This is a little bit weird. Okay. So, this is going to be a little bit important. Let me change window capture properties. Not Microsoft Windows Media Player, Transistor Any percent. Okay, for this cutscene, this is the only cutscene I'm actually going to show off a little bit from. You want to position your mouse up to the top left here. So you want it to be around here. One good visual cue is the tip of Sybil's umbrella. So you can see Sybil has her umbrella appears with it. So my mouse should be around here. And I'm using accessibility settings to see where my mouse is. It should be a bit to the left and a little bit to the top of the umbrella. If it's too far left, I think it's still fine. I don't know about too far up, but it should be like in that zone. Not on the tip, a little bit to the left of the tip. That's it. That's what I want to talk about. Okay, back to the other thing. Okay. And the reason for this is for return to empty set, you are going to switch using purely controller. You are going to be starting off with down left dashes. So you do a bunch of down left dashes. So these are dashes going down left. And then up left. And then down left again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you do one left dash. And immediately dash cancel here. Then you want to do down left dashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you do dash to the left. And here you are going to have your mouse normally in the correct spot. You are just going to use keyboard to move red slightly to the left, and then you hold up. Just up until she's in the correct spot. There are 3 lines that you can't really see here on the screen, but you want to line up your sword on the second line. If you have lined up properly in Nimbus Cloud, your mouse should be in the correct spot here, and the correct spot should be on Red's face on this poster. And you are going to dash with keyboard, not controller, and that should dash you to the correct spot. And then you can just dash down. You're going to switch back to mouse for these dashes, mouse and keyboard. You're going to be holding left click for these dashes. If the spine activates before you cross this line, Boopress knows exactly. If the spine activates before you cross this line, no big deal. You're going to do what we're going to see here. If it doesn't, there's 2 dashes at the end. You will be doing one of those dashes here instead of later. That doesn't change anything fundamentally. So you dash here, and then you dash across this corner down to this intractable and immediately dash cancel on it. And there you go. And now you switch back to controller. Your mouse should be here, so down to the third of the screen from the left and pretty much to the bottom of it. And here you're going to start with down left, so those are controller dashes. You're holding down left, you walk until you hit this little lip. You can dash a little bit earlier than that, but if you want to be safe and lose like maybe 0.1 until you hit this little lip, then you down left, down left, down left, down left, down left, down left, left, interact, cancel. You're then going to walk towards the left to interact with this save point. You are then going to go left 4, left 2, left, 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 3, 2, left 2, left 3. So once again, menuing fast is important, but you need to remember all the things. So, left 4, left 2, left, left, left 3, left 2, left 3. Escape. Your mouse should be in the correct spot, no need for mouse yet. You're going to walk just a tiny bit down left, then tap down and dash. Be careful to release left before going down. Usually I would recommend doing walking down left, stopping walking down left, and hit down and then dash. You do 3 controller dashes towards down, then 2 controller dashes towards down right. 3 of them actually, 4 if you line up perfectly. If you see here, red ends up around this side of the thing. If she's very visible to the left of it, after this dash here, move a little bit to the right before doing the next dash. Otherwise you can just go through, do all your dashes, then you're going to want to walk downwards, so you're pressing down and maybe a little bit right, then you hold down, do 2 more controller dashes, and then you're going to wiggle your mouse just a tiny bit. Wiggle your mouse just a tiny bit and hold it, and then you're going to do keyboard dashes. Keyboard dashes, keyboard dash, keyboard dash, and then you're going to place 2 loads. You want to place them close to this pillar. If you're placing them too far out, they will block the man. Then you want to spark as soon as the fight starts, and you're going to dash to collect the cell. You mash through the level up, you walk to the bike, you interact with the bike. GG. We are nearing the end. Build a bridge. So after the bike cutscene, through which you hold spacebar to, skip through, you are going to be here. You're going to be having your mouse to the down right here to dash towards it immediately, and then left click on this interactable to queue it so that you can get a perfect dash cancel on doing your second one. Then you're going to want to move your mouse while the second dash is going through. You are going to move your mouse so that it's behind your jaunt button. And then you're going to do your 2 dashes and dash cancel. See, my mouse is pretty much behind my jaunt button. Then you move your mouse towards the left and you do 2 controller dashes to the down left. You want your mouse to be aiming roughly in this direction. Yeah. If it's too far down, your spark will hit a wall here. Once you've done your 2 controller dashes, do not move your mouse. So you want your mouse to be aimed properly before that. You're going to do your first load normally towards your mouse using keyboard, and then you're going to switch to controller and do your next 3 loads. 3 on controller by just holding the button, and then you're going to hold spark on controller, and you do a single dash and you wait until you collect the cell before doing the second dash. This cell is very easy to dash through without collecting, and it's very annoying if you do that. Wait until you have the cell before you do this dash. The interaction pops up after you do the dash. You're fine. You interact with the thing. You go through. Use mouse and keyboard to do these dashes, staying close to this wall. And then you do 1 dash left here, and you do another dash left here, and dash cancel. Here you're going to switch back to controller. You are going to move your mouse so that it's roughly here. It should be lined up roughly with this. It can be a bit under that sign. And you're going to do 1, I should go through here. you're going to do one down left and then a series of left dashes until you reach the intractable. And then you're going to be holding upright. And so you'll hold upright. I do it with my right hand. I hold upright. And you're going to be mashing escape with your left hand. And once you see red start moving back upright, you can do your first dash, second dash. Your mouse should be in the correct position from positioning it before. And your second dash can be pretty free. You're going to want to go dashing around so that you clip through this corner, dash, and your last dash should dash cancel here. The hitbox for that is actually pretty lenient. It extends all the way up to here, but be careful about that. Just walk it a little bit before doing that. And then you're going to press enter once, press enter a second time, and then immediately hit escape and hold left. Be careful not to dash here. If you dash here, you might softlock. And then you're going to hold up left and be ready to mash E so that you don't lose time here. You mash E so that you interact here. And then you go through and then you load into here. Here you are going to be wanting to use controller again. You're also going to have to want to move your mouse in this spot. You have a long load and time to move your mouse. You want it roughly here. It again about a third from the left and pretty much to the bottom. And you're going to see my mouse when it appears. Yeah, pretty much a third to the left and to the bottom. You are going to want to do up left dashes here. So you do a bunch of up left dashes. And when you reach this spot, you're going to do one left dash, and then you're going to do one more up left, and then you're going to walk for a fraction of a second and then do an up left. That allows you to interact animation dash cancel on the thing. Then you're going to hold down right to interact with this door, and then you're going to hold up dash so that you dash as soon as you have control. Dash upright, upright, up. It is technically faster to use a keyboard and mouse to go through up to this, but it's much more risky and you need your mouse here for the next skip. So I usually don't do it. Once you're through here you can't use dash. You are going to hold down for a little bit and also press left. And you want basically to line yourself up with this wall and then hold down left so that you go around the Royce head, and as soon as you pass it you're going to hold left and mash E to interact with this as soon as possible, and then you're going to hold up left and then dash with controller. And that's the end of this controller section. Your mouse should be in the perfect spot here to dash down. When you go through here, while this little scene is happening, quickly move your right hand towards the down button, so S, and escape on your left hand. And you're going to wait until red hits the ground before hitting escape. You can hit escape twice while holding down. And the down is just to guarantee that she doesn't actually start the fight. Your mouse should be in the correct position to just down left dash. And then you're going to want to dash up left. Be careful not to dash too far up, otherwise that triggers fight. After that, you're going to dash a bit towards the transition. That should bait the hair to bonk into you, blast you towards the transition, and you can perfect dash cancel on it. And then you're going to go through this perfect dash cancel here. So that was just dash cancel, but you can perfect dash cancel. You're going to want to move your mouse towards the save point. It requires you just learning really where the save point is. So yeah, just memorization of position. But it's fine. Just don't move here. That you are fine. You're in the save is like active, so you can just click on the save. Just press left. And then enter turn, dash to it, dash twice towards the left, and you should activate the fight. and then save Displace. Then here you're going dash left from the save. Remember to move your mouse a little bit while doing that. And then you're going to do a perfect dash cancel on this. Oh god. Now, here you're going to be doing 2 controller dashes. You can position your mouse roughly on red's. The thing does not play. Okay, Windows Media Player is now a problem. Oh my god, give me a sec. There we go. Or not. Can it, work? Give me a second. Also, it's not playing, wow. Okay, I guess I'm just going through the cutscene normally because Windows Media Player is a problem. So yeah, you can aim for boot for the position for 3 men. I swear I've had so many tech issues here. And here you can do your 2 controller dashes to perfect dash to dash cancel on this door. And here, so you want your spark to be aimed honestly more down than I was. You want to be moving, walking just a tiny bit down left to be basically lined up with this, and then do your spark. As soon as your spark is gone, you're going to want to place 2 loads right around here and do your spark. Your spark should clear before the hair comes to you. You're then going to walk towards the cell, collect it, walk up, and then a bit right, and then a bit then a bit right, until you reach roughly this spot above Royce's head. And then you're going to place the load as far as you can. You can aim, I wouldn't recommend it, you can aim for the man. Do not aim for her hair, otherwise it's going to be a bit slower. So aim for man, spark, that it blows this load up and blows the 2 hair up, does a lot of damage. Aim for this man, put another load down on him, immediately spark, and that hits both of them. There are a couple things that can happen that will go wrong, and I'm going to go over them. So the start should always go the same. This hair can sometimes spawn here. If the hair spawns here, crash this hair, and then place 2 loads, or if the men are a bit too far to hit both with a spark, 3 loads down here and then hit with a spark. If for some reason you didn't hit enough damage here, you should be hitting enough damage, but if you don't, they might survive the second blast. Do it for blast, it's fine. And then you're going to dash towards this. You can get a perfect dash cancel on this, just click on it. Here, same thing, you can get a perfect dash cancel. I didn't here, but that's fine. And then you're going to hold left click. Be careful to not go too far ahead from red. If you go too far ahead on this path, she will get very confused. And then you left click on this so that she goes through right away. You're going to put your mouse in position for the next spot. You're going to dash towards your mouse, dash towards your mouse, dash towards your mouse. Hold left so that you're in the corner and do 2 controller dashes. And then interact with this. And then do a controller dash up, walk a little bit up, then a little bit left, then a little bit up. You can, as I did here, lodge yourself with a corner. You can dash slightly earlier than that, but do a dash up, and then you can dash cancel here. While you do this dash cancel, and so you are soaring, hit left click on your mouse and start moving your mouse in the correct spot. You want to hit left click before the scene loads so that you don't accidentally left click on Royce and lose like 30 seconds. You're then going to left click on that and dash cancel on it, which I did not do this run. Then you're going to be holding left click from that and dash after walking a little bit so that you will dash through Royce. Left click on this, walk a little bit, dash cancel. And then you're going to do 2 dashes down towards your turn icon, and then 1 dash a bit more at an angle. You're then going to walk down so that until you cannot. So you're going to walk down holding down right. Be careful to hold down right, otherwise you will slip and activate the fight. So you walk down, then walk up tiny, so until you hit the nuke, hold down right, then tap up, and then you're going to place your mouse on this bottom, on this little triangle here, and then you can do your dash. Then you do a dash staying close to the wall here, and another dash in that same direction. That's going to start this save point. You click on it, go down, go into turn, dash towards it, dash slightly down compared to right, and I did fail that a little bit. You can do 1 dash less than maximum and get through, and you should, because that's 1 less dash you do, and this should land you roughly here, and then you do your reset, and there you go. Now, wait, no, that's not the right thing. It freaked up everything, and I don't even see N there, or Royce. You're then going, after reloading the save, to do a dash down right, do another dash down right, do another dash down right. These are all mouse dashes. Now here, I dash, there's a corner here. You dash towards this corner, and then you dash down again from it, then you dash down left from it. These are very tough, by the way, just saying. You should land roughly here and dash through this wall, and then you're going to do upright dashes, completely fine. Dash through that wall a little bit, little corner dash. And here you can perfect dash cancel on this if you want to, or not. And the rest of this cutscene. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna hide this real quick so I can find Royce. And open Royce with Windows Media. No idea where Royce and did not open up. There we go. Windows Media, play Q. So, Royce. Royce does his little monologue. Be ready for his monologue to end when you see the save icon appear. And then you're going to do left 4, left 2, left 1, left 3, left 2, left 4. Okay, got that? Then you're gonna press escape to end this equip. And Royce is going to take a turn. Royce has a lot of RNG. He can do a number of attacks. The less attack Royce does, the better, because if he does 2 attack, then he will be not doing a third, not planning it, not taking his time to decide, okay, what is my 3rd attack? And that takes time. This is purely RNG. Royce has multiple patterns after that. Either he does 2 breaches, and he's down there, and God knows what he does there. Very rare pattern. Basically never happens. But he usually wanders around to the far side. sometimes most often, he comes around here. And then there's two things that can happen. He can dash through you and go towards here, or he can dash towards there. In this case, he walked away. Sorry, walk, not dash, away. You are going to summon your dog in either case. You are going to summon your dog above you. It's very important that you spawn the dog out of bounds. So you want to have your mouse really above you so that the dog spawns out of bounds. So the dog is out of bounds. You're then, if Royce went too far, going to dash towards him. He's going to dash towards you. If your RNG is right. If your RNG is a bit wonky, Royce might be all the way over here still, and you're going to need to do a second dash. If he's getting close, wait until he dashes before entering turn, doing 2, 3, A, get the dog close, 1, 1, 1. Make sure the dog is close enough. And then you're going to be mashing spacebar because we didn't level up. 2, 3, A, 1, 1, 1. And you're going to do that 2 more times, and Royce is dead. If you fail one of these, the dog will die, and you will lose a bit of time. Also, yeah, this sub did 1 extra jaunt, and they had to remove that jaunt. Yeah. You see, one thing that's important here between the patterns is the dog is... Oh, that's not a between pattern. The dog is trying to walk back to its spawn spot. So you see how it's angled. But because its spawn spot is out of bounds, it's hitting the fight boundaries, and so it's not going far. If you spawn the dog inbounds, it will go back towards its spawn spot and lose you time. So, you know, keep that in mind. Okay, that was Royce. And now the end split. The end split is really easy. You're going to be spawning here. Place your mouse on this block. Left click. Place your mouse here. And mash. You guessed it. Left click. Place your mouse here. And guess what you mash? You mash left click. And then you go here and you mash left click. Yeah, it's really, really difficult. Terrifying split. It's very terrifying because it's always on the 49s that you have, like, it's always on the X9s that you are getting to the split. So yeah. And then you're going to want to hold your mouse down here. And you're going to be left clicking, left clicking, left clicking, left clicking, and you're going to click on the narrator. You're going to wait until red goes to it. You're going to wait until this changes, and as soon as it changes, you split.